Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Akib Ismail, and we all are from Group 8.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Adi Sufian bin Muhammad Albillah.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Faris bin Muhammad Noor.
My name is Muhammad Iqbal bin Muhammad Amin.
My name is Muhammad Fadlan bin Muhammad. We are Group 8.
Our title for this group is Clinic Patient Queue Management System. This program is called Clinic Patient Queue Management System, and it is designed to manage the list of patients waiting in a clinic. The program uses several functions to handle different tasks, such as adding patients, calling the next patient, displaying the queue, and saving the data to a file. So my team now will explain about the coding that we made. The program begins by declaring an empty list called patient queue. This list will store each patient's name and their symptoms. And I will pass to Faris to explain more about this coding.
Okay. Next, we have the in-queue functions, which is used to add a new patient to the queue. When this function is called, it takes the patient name and symptoms, adds them to the list, and display a message confirming that the patient has been added to the queue. Okay.
Then the queue function is used to call the next patient. If the queue is not empty, it remove the first patient from the list and display their name and symptoms. If the queue is empty, it shows message saying queue is empty.
The display queue function shows the list of all patients currently in the queue. It displays a table with the patient names and their symptoms. If there are no patients, it again display queue is empty.
Next, the save log function allows the user to save the current queue into a text file named mini project text. The function writes each patient name and symptom into the file and then display a message confirming that the file has been saved.
The main part of the program is handled by the main function. It runs a loop that repeatedly shows a menu with 4 options such as add patient, call next patient, display queue, and save queue log. Next.
Um, the user enters their choice, and depending on the inputs, the program calls the appropriate functions. For example, choosing one will add a new patient, and two will call the next patient, and so on. After each action, the user is asked whether they want to continue. If they answer no, the program ends. Yes.
Finally, the program starts running by calling the main function, which keeps the system active until the user decides to stop. Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Akib Ismail, as we discussed just now. Sorry for the camera because it's kind of I don't know what happens here, but still, as for now, I will explain the pseudocode that I made. So first and foremost, the program starts with the word. The program at the top, we declare an empty list. So an empty list called patient queue. Okay, patient queue right here. That's right here. So yeah, which works like a waiting line where all patients are stored together with their symptoms. So for our first function that I will explain is function EQ. In queue, sorry, yeah. Alright. So this function in queue, this is one this one adds a new patient to the queue. It takes the patient's name and symptoms, then store them in the list and display message like, for example, Akil has been added to the queue. It basically it's basically how new patients register at the clinic. Alright. For the next function is DQ. Okay, so you can see right here. This function, DQ, this calls the next patient the first one in line. If the queue isn't empty, it removes the first patient and display their name and symptoms. If the if the if it's empty, it just says queue is empty. All right. So the next function is the display queue. So the display queue, which shows all the patients currently waiting, it lists each patient's name and symptoms in a simple table. If there's no one waiting, it says queue is empty. All right. So the next function is the save log function. This function right here. So um, this function saves all the patient's information into a text file. So a txt file for short. It writes each patient's name and symptoms to the file and confirms once it's saved. Alright. Finally, the final function is the main function. The main function is the control center of this program. Kind of like you know all the functions that I have list. So just put every function in this main function, so it runs properly like that. So the function, uh, for example, that it shows a menu of 4 options. So right here, display at patient, call next patient, display queue, and save queue log. So based on the user's choice, it calls the right function after each action. If sorry, after each action, it asks the user what if the user wants to continue. If the user says yes, the menu repeats. If the user says no, the program will end. So in short, in short, the this pseudocode uses functions to make the program clear and organized. In queues, add patients, dequeues call them, display queues, show the list, save log, save it, and main runs the system. And that's really how the clinic patient queue management system works. So yeah, that's it. And sorry for the camera, it's kind of like that, but still, that's all for me. So now, I guess Iqbal will explain about the flowchart that he created. So yeah, thank you and goodbye.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Iqbal bin Muhammad Amin. Today I want to explain my flowchart based on our mini project. First, using the first function, which is patient queue, it will declare patient queue as empty list. Then it will go to the function enqueue and add the name and symptom to patient queue. After that, it will display her name has been added to the queue. Second function is function dequeue. This function has two options, which is yes or no. If the patient queue is empty, it will display queue is empty. If not, it will remove the first patient from patient queue and display calling next patient. The third function is display queue. This function also have two options, which is yes or no. If patient queue is empty, it will display queue is empty. If no, it will display the current patient queue, display table header. After that, for each patient in patient queue, it will have a loop on the table header. Then it will display patient name and symptom. The last function is save log. The save log function will open file mini project for writing, and it will have two options, which is yes or no. If the patient in patient queue is empty, it will write patient name and symptom to the file. If not, it will be no more patient and close the file. It will also display patient queue saved to your file. Lastly, the main coding to run the program is first it will call main, which is add patient, call next patient, display queue, and save queue log. When the input has been chosen by the user, if choice 1, it will input name, symptoms, and call MQ. If choice 2 was is the choice the user put, it will call DQ. If choice 3, it will call display queue. And if choice 4, it will call save log. Then it will be two options for the user, which is yes or no. If the user choose yes, the input will be continue. If the user choose no, it will end the program.
Okay, this is how the coding works. Okay, firstly, if we want to add patient, we just put number 1. So I just enter my name, Faris, and the symptom is just flu. Say for example, so if I want to continue, just I say yes. So I put yes here. Okay, right now we want to put 2 patients. So just say 1 and enter his name or her name, such as Adi. Then I put here fever. So like I said recently, if you want to continue, just say yes. Alright. So if you want to see uh, how much people will queue, just put number 3. So it will display here name and symptoms. So okay, like this. Okay, we just continue. Alright. If you want to call the patient names, we just uh, put number 2. Okay. Okay. Then say yes. So it will display here calling next patient for the symptom flu. Alright. When we say yes, and then we continue to number 3, and it will display Adi. Just Adi. Alright. Okay, we continue again. And then if we want to save in file, we just put number 4. Okay, using number 4 only. Alright, just yes. And then the lastly it will show in here. Adi. So if we want to just remove Adi from here, we just call the number 2. Just put number 2. Okay, like this. Alright, then yes. And we save again. Yes. And here it goes. Adi hilang. Okay, thank you for me.
That's all from our group, and thank you for
Thank you for watching.
watching.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, bye.
thank you.
Tutup, tutup, tutup.